Hi, my name is Alison Jacobson. I am the CEO of First Candle, which is the national nonprofit committed to ending sudden infant death syndrome and other sleep-related infant deaths. More importantly, though, I'm a SIDS mom. My son Connor died in 1997, which in some ways seems ages ago. I have another 3 children now, but in other times, especially around his anniversary, it just brings you up short every year. And even though it's 21 years ago, there are always those times, especially around the holidays, where something will trigger. You'll be at a friend's wedding and you know your child could have been getting married, and it cuts you short. What happened with me was Connor was 3 months and 24 days old. I live in Connecticut and I work down in Manhattan. And he had just been to his 4-month checkup. Everything was fine. I dropped him off at daycare. I took the train into New York City, and by 10 o'clock that morning, I got a phone call. And he had only been in daycare 4 weeks by then, and I got a call from daycare saying, there's a problem with the baby, he's not breathing. And I don't really remember what happened after that, but I must have started screaming because all these people came running to my office. And I woke up and I realized that there was about 10 people in this tiny room. It was my mother, it was nurses, it was this big burly police officer, and everybody was just crying. And at some point I must have gotten off the floor. I really don't even remember that much, but somebody asked me if I wanted to hold Connor. And they took me to a room with a rocking chair, and they put Connor in my arms, and I sat there for quite some time. The doctors at that time said to me they think it's SIDS. Now, keep in mind, this was 1997. This was before Facebook. This was before I could really do anything. But I remembered going on, and I'd had that book, What to Expect When You're Expecting. But I went right by that SIDS chapter because that doesn't happen to anyone I know. That's not going to happen to me. So maybe I didn't believe it, or maybe I didn't even want to think about it. So I just went by it. My feeling is that this has to end. I'm on my soapbox. This should not happen anymore. But what I realized when I came back after all the back to sleep and all of that, and woohoo, we had a 50% reduction in SIDS, all of a sudden the reduction stopped. And something happened. Now here's what's interesting. While the rate of SIDS was going down, the rate of infant mortality was staying the same. So I sat there and said, what the heck is going on? Well, here's what's going on. There is better death scene investigation. Okay, so unfortunately, EMTs or paramedics would walk in and they wouldn't say where they were finding the baby. They wouldn't say where the baby was. They didn't think it was necessary. Or we had medical examiners who were just calling it SIDS without really looking at what was behind it. The reality was a lot of these deaths are sleep-related infant deaths, accidental suffocation. We're finding these babies dying. There was a pediatrician in New Canaan. His baby died on his arms watching Monday Night Football. These babies, there's 115% increase in the rate of accidental suffocation. And in Connecticut, we have one of the highest rates of accidental suffocation. So while it's great that the rate of SIDS is much lower, we're not saving these babies' lives, and we have to, because here's the good news. While SIDS, true SIDS, may still be unpreventable and unpredictable, and we may only be able to reduce the risk, we can prevent accidental suffocation. We can save these babies' lives. And it's pretty simple. The new American Academy of Pediatrics recommendations, the most important ones, are room share with that baby for a year, but not bed share. Keep that baby in another space, be it a pack and play, a bassinet, or crib. And here's the most important, nothing in that crib. No blanket, no pillow, no stuffed animal, no fluffy bumpers. Room share, not bed share, and keep it bare. And we could completely prevent those deaths. In 79% of the deaths, the babies have either been found in the family's bed or in that other sleep area, but with other things in it. Now, keep in mind, we also know that breastfeeding can reduce the risk by 60%. So I'm not saying not to breastfeed. In fact, we are so pro breastfeeding. But what I am saying is once you're done breastfeeding, put that baby back into their own sleep environment. Now, when we're doing our training with these nurses, with these social workers, we're doing pre and post surveys. What's very discouraging is to find out that 78% of them are saying they're talking to their moms and their patients about the safe sleep guidelines. Less than 35% have even read them, and less than 25% can name more than two. That's very disturbing because they're not getting the accurate message to mom. Even more so, less than 60% knew breastfeeding could help reduce the risk of SIDS. That's an important message. So we need to make sure everybody that's interacting with mom is getting her the right message, is listening to her, is explaining the whys. We had a mom who left her baby with her best friend. She just wanted a little time out. She was getting her nails done, shopping, and the best friend was watching the baby. Now, mom thought she knew all about the safe sleep guidelines. She thought she understood. Well, the best friend took a nap with the baby in the bed, and the baby died. There was a grandma, right? Grandmas think they know everything, and they did, right? But so much has changed, so much evolves, and we need to make sure that the grandparents, how many times you hear, well, when I did it, you were fine. Well, yeah, but now we know so much more. So we had another case very recently where mom left her baby with her mom, and grandma knew about back to sleep. Grandma knew not to share the same bed, but grandma went to put the baby in the pack and play and felt that the pack and play was so hard that she took a fluffy blanket and folded it and folded it and folded it and put it under the baby, and the baby rolled over, and it was so thick the baby couldn't raise his head, and the baby suffocated. What's so important to understand is you as a care provider can make a difference. You who every day is helping save lives can go that one step further and save a baby's life when they leave, when they're at home. And that means going above and beyond just checking off that box that you talked about, safe sleep. It's talking to that family, asking them, what's their life like at home? How can you help them kind of brainstorm and problem solve about where are they going to sleep? Second and third hand smoke. Is somebody in that environment smoking around the baby? Tell them they need to go outside, and not just go outside to smoke, but put on a jacket and then take that jacket off when they come in. Do they need support breastfeeding? Ask these questions, engage with them, communicate with them. This is the leading cause of death for babies, and you are the first line of defense. You are the role model. You are the person who can make the difference of getting that baby to their first birthday.